All right, well, we got the stage all set. Tom, you think they're ready for this?
Oh, I don't think they can handle this. There's no way.
We've been waiting for this, though. Halloween special. We got the candles going. I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome.
I don't know. I think my costume's too off the hook. There's no way these people are going to handle it. As soon as they see my costume, their heads are going to explode. Sorry for exploded heads and brains, people.
It'll be a dreadfully good episode. Welcome to a comic book look. You got Dick Grayson on deck here, a.k.a. incredibly acrobatic, a.k.a. so in shape. And we got the Cactus Man over here. So ferocious. Welcome to our Halloween special episode number 17.
Yeah!
John and Tom couldn't be here, but, you know, why not have the cooler host anyways? You know, although they are pretty damn cool, so.
You damn right, man. I'm the hottest superhero in the Southwest. You know, you'll see me in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, but you know, Cactus Jack rolls deep. And I got Dick Grayson on the line.
Exactly.
My buddy Tommy D, the best looking man in the world, called me up and was like, "Oh man, we're not going to be able to take a comic book look. Can you even sit in and grab a partner?" I was like, "Of course. Who am I going to call? Robin."
Obviously.
No. Thank you guys for coming back. It's Comic Book Look Halloween episode.
We've been so excited about doing this episode forever. Plus, I just love an excuse to wear my costume, and I know Tom feels exactly this. I mean, Cactus Jack feels the same way. So,
Cactus Jack, man. They call me that. Yes. All right, but yes,
what are we talking about tonight?
we got a lot of things to talk about tonight in our awesome Halloween episode. I think you know, horror is a genre that kind of goes hand in hand with Halloween, so let's, you know, kind of talk about what horror books we like, and what kind of Halloween has been in the stories that we like in comic books. Of course, that's what we do. We talk about comics. But, I mean, I love the horror genre. I love Halloween. I love getting dressed up. I love, you know, going out and partying.
He loves making awesome costumes for his friends to wear.
I made both of these. Me and John made this one, and me and my buddy Fulker made this cactus costume. And it's
good work.
It's amateur hour, but I love it, and it's fun. And what are some of the comic books that you've read or liked that involve the #1 issue here, horror or Halloween?
Totally. Well, you know, off the bat, the most quality read I've had this year definitely has to be the Marvel Curse of the Vampires. No.
The what? I don't remember that storyline.
Exactly. It was kind of a speed bump.
Cactus Man doesn't remember that.
Robin doesn't acknowledge Marvel. So, anyways, now Tom gave me some homework, or gave John some homework, whatever. Yeah, but
we can go out of character, John.
Exactly.
It's okay. Sometimes my hands just come out of my cactus costume to drink my beer.
But no, Tom gave me some homework. He gave me a stack of trades to read. You know, I got 3 out of the 5 read. So
that's pretty good.
Doing pretty good, you know. So, but no, some all new things for me to try out. Of course, the most common for me to identify with is actually the Gotham Before Midnight. Or After Midnight.
Nice. Yeah, let's pull it out.
Let's pull that one out. So it's just a twist. Like, it takes the Batman realm that I'm getting more familiar with as I'm reading the books, and like we talked about in previous episodes, I watched the 90s cartoon and so forth, so I know the backstory, but seeing it with such a solemn twist on it, like, that's really cool. And you have all these villains acting out of character, and I'm thankful that I'm very familiar with those characters, because I totally see where they're coming from. Like, when,
totally.
Yeah, like, it was just definitely a very cool spin on it.
Yeah,
I thought
it's a really cool, unique book. It's written by Steve Niles, who we'll actually talk about another one of the books he does, because he's kind of known for doing, you know, dark tone books and horror books, and this really does do a play, and it is 12 issues, and they're all like kind of one and done issues, but they have a good tie throughout everything, so it's really fun, kind of a fun read. It hits all sorts of villains acting different, and it has a really unique, dark sense of art and Gotham. And so it's a pretty cool book in that sense. And it's, you know, it's a Batman book, but I mean, it is definitely tilted on the side of horror.
Yeah.
It is the kind of book that, holding with it, buzzing, damn it. But, Gotham After Midnight, Steve Niles and Kelly Jones. Kelly Jones did the art, and it makes a really cool impression. The art, the colors are very distinct, and it's a very distinct art style.
It was.
And
I completely agree.
Yeah, and it's just fun to see a real, horror story, or horror tone, dark tone story, and Batman Gotham After Midnight is something everybody should check out because it's really cool.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. Steve Niles, he's done that. He's done 30 Day, or what's the vampire movie? 30 Days a Night. Yeah, 30 Days a Night, I think is what it is. And it's also a vampire movie that is.
How long ago was that?
I don't know. I think Josh Hartnett's in it.
Oh God.
I don't know, but
okay.
Anyway, 30 Days a Night, and Ben Tipplesmith and Steve Niles made that, and it got turned into a movie, and it's been a big long running comic, and he's probably most known for that. But he's done other really kind of cool, unique things. He did Mystery Society this year that was just absolutely phenomenal, and he also did All Sounds Off. Sorry. He also did a book that we'll talk about here that even John read, and it's kind of a book that probably I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it ever, but it's a book that I think is really cool. Criminal Macabre, and it's Steve Niles and Ben Templesmith, the guys who do 30 Days a Night, and this is a book that with a character that Steve Niles created, and he's still around. He's had different issues with Hellboy and the Goon recently, and it was really fun. And it's just part of the Dark Horse universe, and he's a really somber, detective, and he has a dead guy.
That's an understatement of the century. Oh my God.
Yeah, and the art is just Ben Templesmith does art like nobody else.
I really like the artwork,
and it is so out there. I remember our friend Vedran. He read this story and he was like, "That art is garbage. I could do that when I was 12 years old because it's so sketchy and scratchy and doesn't always make it." But it is so cool.
Some of the pages are really cool though.
Oh, exactly.
I think it's incredibly complex actually.
Exactly.
Some of the background transitions, and it's almost like I want to think some of it would be sparkles and stuff that I would do in Photoshop, but no, it's really cool the way they play with the colors. And the simplest thing, there's one scene where a dead guy's yelling at the main character in the background, and it's just a stick figure like this, but it's so coolly done.
Exactly. I know. Well, it's such a multimedia.
It is.
Thing. You can tell he's painting. He's using ink. He's using watercolor, using colored pencils, and he mixes it all together into his one style that is really pretty damn cool. And I like seeing the Criminal Macabre stories still come out, and they still do monthly issues. Probably bi-monthly, but it's still kind of a fun story. In that,
I'd say it's more of a trade.
Yeah,
in my opinion, because I just enjoy reading it. I read that whole thing today at work on my breaks. So I was just rocking it. I was having a good time, and having to wait a month or two, I don't know if I'd be such a fan of that. Well, with any book really that I really like, but no, that was fun.
Nice. Well, give us a rundown. What's the story? It's been a little bit since I read that.
Well, the rundown basically is that, like you said, you got that really morbid detective there. He's partnering with a dead guy. Got another gal that gets roped into it down the road. The book opens up. He's trying to explain what happens to these other cops that, of course, don't believe him because monsters like werewolves and vampires and so forth. Who's going to believe that, right? Well, it turns out he's actually telling the truth, and a gentleman that the detective had killed actually came back as a monster and is trying to bring back the genuine articles of what is a vampire and what is a werewolf and so forth.
Yeah, I remember this.
Through fleas infused with the bubonic plague kind of a thing. So people are getting kidnapped. In fact, the bad guy kidnaps a whole subway car full of people, starts turning them in. The ghouls are another monster party. They're actually neutral though, because the dead guy that partners with the detective is one of them. So they're against this whole thing, so they're kind of the good guys, as it were. Just a very dark story. The detective's really down to earth about the whole thing, actually.
Yeah, and he's almost, he's just so cocky. I mean, it's funny. You know, it's horror, but he is funny. Like, the thing. Because he's almost, such a don't give a shit attitude.
Exactly.
Cal has. Yeah. Cal McDonald.
Guy's the man.
Yeah, dude, he is the man. He's so funny. But yeah, and he has a badass car. Does he have the car in these issues? No, well, he gets a really badass car later that is super awesome. John will love to read that when he gets a chance, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know if you've caught it recently, but to go to next Halloween topic. Have you been watching the Walking Dead TV show at all?
No.
Have you seen the first season yet? No. Okay. Well,
I've had Gabe's been ragging on it a lot because Gabe's an avid reader. Gabe Nightshield was on our show a couple issues ago for being in Scalped and avid Walking Dead fan, but he's more about it following the books and it's not. So how the show stands on its own leg, I'd have to watch it to double check. But I haven't had a chance to. I could start recording it. I'm watching American Horror Story on FX.
Oh, well, here we go. That's awesome. I haven't even been watching that. I heard it is so good, too.
It's a fun one.
That book, Lock and Key, was optioned to be piloted, too. And
nice.
But it didn't make it, and I kind of think because this would have been going out at the same time, and it both involves the house. So
Amityville.
But yeah, exactly. So that's cool. I haven't seen any of those yet, and I really want to.
Good stuff.
Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, Charlie Allard, comic book, just great. It's been going on forever. 90 issues last week. And I love it. I started with the compendium, caught up on the trades, caught up on the issues, and now I'm just, I do monthly now because it hooks you good, and it's a really fun story, and it's always has big twists, and things are happening because this is in a zombie world, and they play for keeps, and it's can get kind of depressing at times, but I mean that's what makes the writing so well. And then there's the new TV show on AMC.
Yeah,
I didn't say. I almost said FX. Yeah. But AMC, and the show had hit the record for the most ever watched cable TV show ever of all time.
Really?
Yeah, over 11 million. Huh. So that's really cool that it's becoming successful and stuff. And I know that Gabe has talked about it, that it doesn't meet the comic.
I just want to see it to see how it holds up as a show. That's the only medium I'm interested because I haven't read any of the books.
Yeah. Oh, totally. So. And Robert Kirkman is the guy who writes it, and he created it, and he's a part of the show, executive producer, wrote the first episode of the second season, and I mean, he is making this part of The Walking Dead. Just he's not going to tell the exact same story he already told, and so yes, if you've read the comic book, it's going to be different. I mean, the Rick's buddy Shane, he's still around. Rick's son already got shot. So I mean, there's shit is happening that happens way later in the books or way earlier, and so you got to get used to that. And Gabe had the point of, well, it's not like it doesn't follow the comic book, so I don't like it. Yeah, well, I mean, it still keeps the same kind of characters, it keeps the same tone. I do think there are parts, it is an hour-long show, and there are parts that kind of get drawn off. Like the first episode was all about losing a girl in the woods, and I think we could have done a little bit more with that episode. There were some long points that maybe we were trying to build mood and stuff, but didn't always hit the peak, but it is a cool show nonetheless. And episode 2 made up for it. It was really good. And I mean, I'm going to continue to watch it, and I really suggest you do go out and watch it. It's a successful TV show that's based on comic books.
Oh.
And if you can, get the book. I mean, like, they have the compendium that I have. It's like phone book thick, 1,000 pages, and it has the first 48 issues. And you can get that on, Amazon used for $30. Nice. So you're talking under $1 an issue for that sucker.
Yeah.
And it'll suck you in. So that's how I did it, and it's great.
Nice.
He also has a Invincible compendium. Robert Kirkman does. That's what they call these giant issues. That has like 40 issues as well. I'm going to buy that one pretty soon, too, because I've never read Invincible, the superhero comic book.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, word up. What's the next? What else do you want to talk about? Horror and scary for spooky. Robin. How's the Batcave been lately?
Batcave's been amazing.
What goes down in that Batcave? You guys got any late night parties?
Well,
Bruce ever get drunk and then...
Well, Yeah, I mean, he just, like I said, I got some of those Dark Avenger custom frame pieces on the wall.
You guys just throw batarangs at those all day?
No.
Well, I would just be right outside your house. You wouldn't notice me because I'm a cactus.
Very incognito.
I like to move like I'm a cactus, like maybe in Mario or something, though.
Right. Those are actually pretty groovy, how they roll. Oh, my goodness.
But I'm not. I'm Cactus Jack, the superhero of the Southwest, made up for this comic book look show.
Horns.
But yes, indeed. Okay, what do you want to talk about next, though, Johnny Boy?
Well,
Robin?
Well, right. I mean, the book that I really liked was actually that Lock and Key book.
Pull it up. We're going to talk about the... I'm going to make a declaration right here. My absolute pick for the greatest book of the last, however long it's been coming out, I think 3 or 4 years. This is the greatest book out of all the other comics that are coming out. The thing that is going to hold up, people are going to talk about and be super impressed with is Lock and Key. This is my favorite comic. It's through 4 trades. I read it in the trade form. I mean, the trades are so nice. Yeah. And the art is so clean and gorgeous. The writing is so clean and gorgeous. Everything melds together so much, and it's amazing. I want to say that before we start talking, just to give you my stance on Lock and Key.
It's a really dark book. I mean, it's all more cartoony in terms of the appearance of the characters, but I mean, there's just real things that happen in there. Their dad just gets blasted, and the kids have to hide on the roof behind the chimney. I mean, these are like real things, and it's almost like surprisingly graphic in an animated way. Very, very interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's very graphic, and I mean, it brings you to some deep, dark places. I mean, you're feeling for these kids that their father is getting murdered, and I mean, these people are doing these 2 little shits that are the bad guys in these stories are doing some horrible things.
Agreed.
And I mean, it is. I like how John put it, cartoony style, because they all have. It is such a distinct style. You don't see another comic.
It's not like anime or anything like that, but it's borderline.
Oh, totally. It's not realistic. It's not realism at all.
No.
It is such a stylized art, and we better say who it's through. Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez. Joe Hill writes it. Gabriel Rodriguez draws it. They have the best meshing in comic books. They're just some of the greatest storytelling. Some parts that I really love about Lock and Key, just kind of the art-wise, is, yes, it is, that cartoony, it's not realistic at all, but it is so stylized. Every single person that's a part of this family looks like they're a part of the family. The other people don't look like they're a part of their family. They have like the same chins, they'll have the same facial features, the acting in the characters, the how they're positioned, how they slouch, what their facial features are. Nobody does it like this guy. I mean, you read it one time and you're amazed. Then you go back and read it again and you're completely blown away. I've been waiting a long time to talk about Lock and Key on this show because I have never brought it up before, because I just think it is so awesome, and I wanted to just devote a little bit of time just to talking about how much I liked Lock and Key. It's amazing. So what did you think of, haven't read the other 3 trades, but reading this first trade, jumping into it, what did you think?
At first I was just kind of like, oh boy, where is this going, and then as you start to get familiar with the characters, you guys know how I feel about characters. But no, it was good. It was quality. This is exactly why I love doing the show, because Tom exposes me to new things, and if you guys have any further suggestions on things that I should check out, definitely shoot them our way at our email. We'll give that to you at the end of the show. I liked it. I hope that I have a chance to read the other 3 trades coming up. I have a big stack at home of other things that Tom's given me that I need to read first before I borrow anything else, so I liked it.
Don't worry, Dick, you can do it. And the family is the Locke family. That's where Locke comes from. These Keys are involved in the house and they do mysterious things. There's this very kind of like a bad spirit that is in this well that's kind of trapped there. There's 3 kids in this family and a mother that move out to this house. Been in the family and house for a long time. Something kind of happens that there's something magical there that kind of only kids can realize, because adults don't really know exactly what's going on. They don't have the same imagination, so they don't really see what's going on, and it all affects kids. I don't really remember, because they've all melded together, what is just strictly in this book. But, I mean, some of the... I remember hearing an interview with Joe Hill, the writer, and he talked about, you know, so did you know, I mean, the things that you're tying in from, you know, the first and second trade into the third and fourth, it's just, you know, such a huge plan that you've done this so smartly. Is this something you planned on? And, well, he said when he first started, he didn't know who Gabriel Rodriguez was. He got a chance from IDW to do this book. They contacted him about doing like converting some novels that he has done into comics, and or some short stories. And he said, well, I got this other story that I wanted to talk about. They made this, and he said that he got to interview Alan Moore, the famous comic creator that we've talked about multiple times on the show. He got to ask him a question for like some sort of magazine or newsletter, and he got to be the person to ask one question. And he asked, is it important for you to know what has happened at the end of your comic book when you start writing the start of it? And he said Alan Moore had this really long Alan Morey answer that took 25 minutes, and it went in and out of dimensions, and he came back, but he said basically the gist was, yes, it is important. So he didn't have that done by the end of this first trade. This was supposed to be a trade that could maybe do other things, but after he asked that story, he went down and he made a set plan that's with a perfect ending that's going to come, and he's used to this long form storytelling that he completes this whole thing in a genre that's horror. There's no good horror books besides maybe Walking Dead, and that's a zombie book. Can be cliche, zombies. This is a horror book in the best sense, where it gets so original. Once you get into the other things, it just gets so wacky, all the different keys that are there, and I mean the art is so well. How about even like the house?
Yeah.
Like the house, the artist must have such a distinct plan on what this house is going to look like. Because like every room they have like planned what would go into the hallway, what the rooms look like. I mean, all of this is thought before. Yeah. Oh my God, I love
all
this
those
book.
Different doors. It's clever. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What's the youngest kid? Brody or
Bodhi. Yeah.
Bodhi. I mean, Bodhi. He's just so awesome. The middle girl is a daughter, and she is such a unique, cool individual. And but they're all pretty shaken from what's happening in their life, but they're getting on in a new school, and it's amazing. You got to read it. Lock and Key. I can't say enough praise about it, because I do love it so much. It's the best book that has came out recently. Since it started coming out, there's no other book that is better than this one. If you're gonna read one comic book, read Lock and Key, because it's great. Word.
I agree.
Yep, definitely, man. So, Dick Grayson, what's with all these chicks that you've hooked up with? I think you've hooked up with Huntress for a while, Oracle. Dude, you just get Starfire? I mean, come on. Aliens? How is that? How do you get all these ladies?
Yeah, just a little flick of the hair, and I grew that beard out because I was too lazy to shave it. Put on a few pounds after drinking the beer. Winning combo. Yeah. Plus hanging out with a cactus.
Ooh.
I love my plant life. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. All right. Next book that I want to talk about, horror driven, that is just recently, is Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Alan Moore kind of made his fame with this Swamp Thing run. It's from the 80s, and it kind of talks about how Swamp Thing, who is Alex Holland, isn't exactly Alex Holland, was actually always a part of the Green, and had Alex Holland's kind of spirit inside of him. And it's really intricate tale that is really smart, and a really dark kind of horror story. And it's really cool what they do, and to see Alan Moore start beginning on this, Swamp Thing, and how smart he was even back, before he had the ego of, the biggest head in the world. This is kind of what gave him that ego. And Watchmen gave him that ego. But this did too. And it's a great book. It's, everybody's heard of Swamp Thing. They made a movie in the 80s. I think he actually got this book because they started making a movie and they needed to reinvigorate Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And when he took it over, I think he took it over from Lean Wynn, the editor at Marvel, at DC forever, and he created Swamp Thing. And he took it over and just brought it to all new heights, brought it a lot deeper, darker, serious tone, showed what you can do with comics in the 80s when they weren't really, when we've talked about it before with the long exposition and the different things that, they had in the Byrne, Claremont kind of comics, different, this is way different than what they were doing. And they're both awesome in their own right, but it's really cool that this is really famous and it gets its own hardcovers and it's a horror story. I think horror is looked down a lot. I mean, how many movies that are horror movies win, Academy Awards? That was brought up on the IMJ Inveterate Media Junkie website a while back with one of the columns that I think John Mayberry wrote. He's a comic writer and he does a column for Inveterate Media Junkies. He also does horror novels, and he talked about the stigma that horror has, that it's going to be cheesy and it's going to be the slasher movie or what it can be when comic books, TV, movies. There's been some really amazing horror stories throughout that hold up just as well as a regular detective story or whatever.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you excited for this Halloween, Johnny boy?
I sure am. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, me
Going
too.
out tomorrow night, and hopefully my costume comes together, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be representing the Chris Angel show, Believe. We're got the gals dressed up as the dolls from that show.
And you're gonna be Chris Angel?
No, I'm gonna be like one of the ushers with the little hat and that thing. And my mask is ridiculous because they put clay on my face and dried it and stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's me size because those plastic ones are like, I have a fat face, you guys. So those plastic ones are just
more like you just thought it was cool to make your own mask. Cause it is.
I painted it white. I just got to do the painting on it tomorrow night, and I put a straw hole in it. I'm the DD, so I got to sit my side by Diet Coke in costume, So yeah, it'll be fun. You got any plans or?
Yeah, I got a house party.
Nice.
Of course, that's my favorite way to roll on Halloween. Got a babysitter for the kids. Get the house party rolling. Me and Jen are going out. Tomorrow I'm going to be Steven Seagal. It's going to be freaking badass. And Jenna's going to be a rainbow.
Nice.
And so yeah, it'll be a badass time. Hopefully there's some comic book characters out on the night. There always is. We went to the Zoo Boo, which is a zoo Halloween event in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, at our zoo, and I took my kids there, and there was 2 little kids that were Batman and Robin.
Oh, fun.
That was pretty sweet, so we gave them a what up. And
I really think there's going to be a boost this year with all the movies and stuff, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see that. And,
oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
And they had all the Star Wars guys there. We have we have a group of Sioux Falls ites and people around here. I think they're based out of Harrisburg, but they do charity work where they have a bunch of stormtrooper are all just Star Wars costumes, and then they're to a T. And then they were at the Zoo Boo too, and my daughter just loves seeing those every time. So cool. Yep, I love Halloween.
We're excited this year, and if you guys have any awesome costumes in general or Halloween related, definitely send them to us.
Send us some pictures of your Halloween costumes. We'll throw them up on the next show if you do. If you're okay with that. If anybody would do that, that would be sick. If we actually got feedback like that. So if you got a Halloween costume, comic book related or not, if you're a fan of comics and the comic book look, send us a picture. We'll throw you up on the next show for sure.
Yup, and then just in the subject line or the message, just say okay to post.
Yep.
On there, we just want to make sure that you're okay with that, and you can send that to a comicbooklook@gmail.com. We're not done though.
Oh no! I mean, I do want to talk about one more book here.
I still need to read this one.
And this couldn't be hit or miss. This is Neil Gaiman in Sandman. A lot of people say that it's some of the most influential work and most famous comics that came out. It kind of made a name for the Vertigo imprint at DC. Started it as a DC comic, but soon just turned into not being really about DC and having almost its own world. And it's all about the Sandman, who is the keeper of dreams. I think he has a name, Morbius, a lot of different names in the book, but it's it's a really dark book, and it's really smart and well written. You either seem to love it or hate it, but I happen to love it. I think it's really smart work, and they do something different in each story arc, always involving really dark elements, and then also just how the Sandman can be involved in that, because this could be the thing about the Sandman stories is they can be stories about anything, because I mean, he's about dreams, so he could be in and out of dreams, depressed people. What do they get their dreams? Happy people, what are their dreams like? You know, whatever kind of person you are, what are your dreams like? He controls them. He can decide what your dreams need to be and how you feel, and you know, it ends up taking a big toll on different people and how the different situations that he's involved in. It's really cool. And it's like he was locked away for a long time. He came back, and you know, he has all these brothers and sisters that are called the Endless, and anything that would be endless. So like he's Dream. There's you know, like I wish I could think of them all. I'll put them all up, but you know, anything that would be endless. So there's like oh my gosh, I can't even think of one right now. Well, anyway, there's a whole bunch of other ones. Death is his sister. Jill Thompson always does her lines. But like he's Dream, Death, you know, anything that is endless, an endless kind of thing. They make up a person for it, and they kind of always are competing between brothers and sisters, and it really becomes a really cool book. And it's you know, all definitely based in the horror genre, and making it cool. So I just wanted to say, you know, get a hold of Sandman. I'm sure everybody's heard of it, but, you know, tell us what you think. If you like it, you don't like it. I love it. So
I think our main message today that we're just kind of relaying, and that Tom has definitely helped me see, is that, you know, you got to look past the Twilights. You got to look past, you know, that mainstream garbage, because that's all nonsense. Get the quality out. Yep. Quit reading the crap. Quit watching the crap.
Exactly, I agree.
There's some good stuff going on TV. There's some bold series going on right now. Check out American Horror Story. Check out Walking Dead. Check out Walking Dead.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true. You know, I mean, you can sit around, you know, watching, you know, horrible shows like, I don't know, The Middle or whatever the other horrible shows are, and or Grey's Anatomy and nonsense like that, or you can take your time and watch some good-ass stories.
And if you do watch those shows, there's nothing wrong with that.
There is.
I'm just saying, but
sit through that shit with my girlfriend or my wife. I mean, oh my god, it's so hard.
Well, take a break once in a while and watch some good stuff.
I'm not talking about you, Modern Family. You're hilarious.
But yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, again, please send us some pictures of your Halloween experience. We want to see it. And we'll definitely post those up if you're okay with that. We'll get some pictures of us out and about too, but definitely, the genre of horror is something we hope to see more of coming up, and I don't know if, you know, the mains, you know, Marvel and DC are fully capable of executing that as good as maybe some of these other books we read are, but I mean, there is potential. I mean, like the Batman book we talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just, you know, fingers crossed, hoping for a good year coming up here, and next Halloween, hopefully there'll be some better news.
That's right. We got Justice League Dark, so you know that's kind of
Is it dark?
Well, it's a dark story. It's not dark like Avengers Dark, like they're. Shut up.
Sorry.
I do. I'm gonna put the glyph of Zatanna right here and just kiss her.
Oh my goodness.
Love you, Zatanna. But that is not the only reason. It's also just cool. It's not like dumb Dark Avengers where they're dark because they're bad guys. It's dark because, you know, they have to deal with some dark demonic crap, and it's pretty cool. And I just realized by saying demonic that we haven't even talked about John Constantine, Hellblazer, which is like one of the, I mean, it's such a kind of horror, mystical, magical book. Check that out as well. I'm sure we'll have a show on that when I get John to read some of those issues sometime. But, you know, because I have a lot to say about Constantine as well. So, all right. Well, anything else, John, that you got to say, want, do?
Oh, man. Definitely just, you know, send us those pictures. Check us out on YouTube at Comic Book Look. comicbook@gmail.com is our email. Check us out on Facebook. Interact with us. We're having a ball, and there as always, just got random news. You know, people confessing they bought Ultimate Spider-Man finally.
Saw that.
But no, it's a good community. We're loving the support. It's just a roller coaster, nonstop incline for us. Like, the hits just keep going up. Yep. Landmark after landmark, you know, email after email. We're digging it. Send us those emails, though. We want to do another email show, of course.
Yep, and we got a few built up, you know, and thanks for those people that have just started watching, and, definitely, you know, watch all our other videos. You know, it's fun to check us out. You know, we have a lot of fun doing the show. We're going to continue to have fun doing the show. So, you know, check us out. send us emails, please. We'd love to receive emails. You know, in your spare time, get to inveteratemediajunkies.com, where you always find me, Tom Stu Divine, commenting and interacting there. We post videos there, and you know, we'd like to interact through there. Also, if anybody has any ideas where I should post these to get more people to watch them, or where they can, you know, that a cool place that people would like to see them, or any other place besides YouTube, you know, let me know. I'd love to see what anybody thinks, and different ideas. We'd love to get our name out there, and this you know, we like to do these fun shows every once in a while too. A little Halloween show.
That's awesome.
So,
but yeah, from us to you, we hope that you have a very safe, fun Halloween. Get inventive with those costumes, you know. Got some cosplayers out there for the cons and stuff. I want to see some pictures coming up. I know we got a lot of creative people that are watching us, so definitely just keep up the good work, have fun, stay in touch with us, keep, you know, and just definitely.
I'm just doing cactus, doing cactus stuff.
But no, seriously, we
Dick.
really appreciate it. Have a wonderful, wonderful Halloween. Be safe.
Yep.
Keep it comics.